Welcome to another episode of my Motor Town playthrough. Last one of the mine supply stuff. Took a lot longer than I expected, but I want to try out a lot of things and we are going to do planks through the mud today. Before we do that, however, I want to do one last thing to see if that would work. We are going to get into our semi-trailer section and get something that I got myself quite a while ago. I always wanted this to work with the Limusi. Doesn't really though because of the landing gear being too low even when you retract it. But it has a nice llama camo which I like, so I wanna try and grab this using the new import-export feature. So we are going to export it to the clipboard and then get the other trailer in. One is the showtime, one is the showbed. This one. And just to see if this works when I import it. Yep. Maybe not 100%. The trailer over here is quite a bit larger and all of that, but I'm gonna take it for now. It's a cheap fix without much effort. Might also wanna try get another background color, that can help. Yeah, going full green. Looks a bit better in my opinion. And now we got it all styled up within a minute or two. This is nice. Doesn't always work exactly how you want, but with something like this, there isn't really too much about it to begin with. So, yeah. So let's go over and set up our vehicle for the episode. I hope this won't take too long, but yeah. Going with 6 planks, it's gonna be a slower trip for sure. But yeah, that still leaves a viability for a lot of options here. I could have maybe done the same thing with a camo for the trailer. Or for this trailer, I mean. You know what? I kind of want to do that. It's likely not gonna look too nice, but at least let's try it. So let's get the show bed in. Decal, import, done. Better than nothing. Again, paying 7k because for some reason the llamas are expensive as a decal. And like that we are looking alright. Yeah, there are some spots that would definitely need some adjustment. This is definitely far from perfect. Ideally I would maybe even... let's try something real quick. Where are the bright ones in the middle? If I project them like this, they might not... Okay, they are showing up. And like that you can make them not show up. So there is a way to make this look clean. We will just need to get them in from the bottom. Might need to lower that down a few layers. And just like that, if I go up and do it like this over here. I think I might also be slightly ruining it now because I'm deactivating some settings that meant they used to duplicate. So I might need more layers on here and I'm not gonna do that in the episode. Okay, got that one. Yeah, that's gonna be... The light here really isn't helping. I can barely see what I'm doing. But yeah, we need to look at it from the bottom. And then deactivate these things. Maybe also not put them on the wheel. Doesn't matter for this one right now. Can't really cover that up with anything else. So there's so much about the stuff that I really want to do today, but you know how it works sometimes. Sometimes you're gonna play around with llamas a bit first. Yeah. Not really perfect, but better than before. And I'm gonna manage the rest of it at some point later. Likely in a year or two at this rate. Just to keep a general idea of the time frame. I'm not planning on doing this tomorrow or later today. But I think at least not having all the llamas on the inside here looks a bit better. But to do it really clean where it's not on the cargo bed or the inside walls, it's gonna take a moment. Okay, now to today's cargo, up to copper mine number 3 and 6 planks as per usual. Can immediately go down into 6L mode because we need that, and I think we also need to push back the fifth wheel a bit. Just wanna check if I'm able to rotate now. Okay, yeah, that works. Might have to switch the rims on the trailer to make all of that fit. I should have maybe slept before the episode. This might be a nighttime cruise, but then again we had sunlight for most of these, so yeah, why not? And here we go, worst decision of my life, turning left at this intersection. Okay, first hill is definitely gonna be one to use the winch on. I think there's little chance that we might get through any of these without winching. Maybe the second one. Maybe the fourth one. But not the third. And neither through this here, definitely not. And this time I'm going to try applying some throttle control so that I'm not constantly overheating. Was definitely not paying attention on that the last time. Yeah, riveting gameplay today, but we are making progress. And yeah, with something like this load, this is kind of the intended way. The other option would be going through the other side, through the storage and everything. And with the size of the trailer and the weight of the Of our cargo over here, it would be pretty much the same story as with the tanker the last time. I think this should be a bit heavier than the tanker, but not by much. I mean, let me think. If we had the tanker at 30 tons, that would be 24, I mean 30 kiloliter, that would be 24 tons of weight, I think. 0.8 times 3. So, yeah, it would be a bit lighter than this. Maybe I should have also grabbed the remote again, that might help. Yeah, the tractor alone could be doing precious little. It wouldn't really get anywhere. The winch alone also wouldn't get us up this hill, I don't think, but yeah, I think it's definitely a really good contributor to the progress here. Yeah, still no chance of moving under our own power without help. At least we're not rolling down backwards again. But we almost made it to the crest. We almost invisible, barely noticeable crest of this barely noticeable incline, which is still way too much for the vehicle. Come on, you gotta get going at some point. Oh god, I think that's it going. The truck is going. Does it work differently with fourth gear? I think we might be picking up a bit more speed now. Also gotta cut the winch cable. Look at that. 5 kph. Oh, 6, now we are really cruising. Now we are finally out of the mud here. So yeah, this is gonna be a snail's pace adventure. But thankfully this is the shorter route. Would be interesting seeing a direct comparison between the two if I maybe got another person and we would make this as a race. Theoretically, I could have also set up a racing event for this. Few checkpoints along the way. Nothing too restrictive. Come on, don't make me get the winch again for this. So much about making it through here. It's a bit of an incline and I really didn't pay attention to it. And now I'm stuck again. But yeah, the thing is, with the delivery we did last time, would need 9 planks to process all of that fuel, so Yeah, we don't really need that much. $18 kiloliters would be 6 planks, so as much as we have right now. But I really can't talk today. So maybe going with the shorter trailer would also be a viable option for fuel. And with this, it really just depends on your pain tolerance. Some enjoy it, some don't. I'm a bit more on the enjoying side, but it all has its limits. I think now we are going. Four kilometers per hour. My brain is going to flow out my ears or something. I think they were afraid of something like that happen back in the day when they first got into locomotives. People are not supposed to go that fast. Can't handle it. The body will give out or something. Oh god, we are double-digit speeds now. Not anymore on the uphill. But yeah, slowly making our way up here. It's a lot of cargo for one little tractor. I doubt any of the heavy-duty machineries would be better. And I don't know if I want to try that, because that's just gonna be a loss of cargo at the end. I mean, yeah, they would be faster on the regular dirt sections. But I doubt they would make it through the mud. And without a rigid truck, it's not gonna go on the outside, I don't think. Yeah, that looked alright for a moment, but then the moment was over and we are now left with this. Oops, too far. I should maybe really rotate some of the lights or get some additional ones on here to light up the area around it a bit more. Having multiple lights point forward doesn't really do much at this point. Does it even make much of a difference if I, for example, take this one? I mean, kinda. Looks pretty stupid though. Would have to come up with a decent looking light fixture for that. I got the ones below the main headlights pointing outwards a bit by a few degrees. And yeah, I think just having a bit more around me, just being able to see to left and right a bit more, that would be kinda helpful at this point. It's pretty dark. Which is once again the thing how I said it, so I can't really complain too much. Here we go. I think the turn happened under power, but trying to get forward now, yeah, that's just not happening until the winch is caught up, which it is now. But yeah, slowly inching forward. Only 1.8 kilometers to go. Honestly, with this speed, they should really give me every meter. So 1852, 1851, 1840, whatever. Already holding something. But yeah, I think we can conclude from this that the mud shortcut is definitely on the more intense side. Might be fine with some vehicles, but definitely could be easier. I mean, there is a decent chance that if you're good with Limousin flatbed, you're gonna go back and forth fast enough to make it work. This thing right here, yeah, you're delivering a good amount of stuff, but it's gonna take 3 times as long as the flatbed, I think. Slowly inching up. But the end of the shortcut is in sight now, at least on the map. Okay. Can we make it through here without winching? I'm just gonna keep pressing the gas. Upshifting now would be slowing down. Good effort, but yeah. Didn't get quite that far. But yeah, the second and fourth part are definitely a bit easier than the first and third. When it comes to the mud. I think we are moving under power. Never mind, we stopped moving. Yeah, it's not just the winch alone, but it's also not the power alone. Really need some help there. Okay, I think we are now moving under power, which is nice because need to disconnect the winch anyways. Finally through. Now there's only that one problem area and then we should be good here. Barely able to turn with this thing. That's always been a bit of an issue. But yeah, we basically made it. If the game was a bit more realistic, I would likely have blown up my engine right there, with how much I was over revving. Come on. It's kinda amazing how the Limusi Semi is so many people's entry-level semi-tractor because of how cheap it is and everything. And it looks weird hauling stuff on the road when the trailer is just so much larger than the tractor. So in a lot of senses, it's kinda people's first semi-tractor now. But it's also one thing that you will find in situations like this, with like absolute hardcore off-road trucking. And despite being some people's first choice and some people's last resort in some cases, in the middle there are all the other semi-tractors. Like it's taking up the space on the extreme ends of the spectrum, but not the middle. I should have maybe put some pre-tension on the rope and then started accelerating, just keep the handbrake on until then. I mean, this is working out right now, but this can also very quickly go very wrong. I'm a bit surprised because I was expecting this to be worse than the other one. Come on. I mean, if I was really that deep into the testing, I could also try a heavy-duty semi-tractor with this. I doubt it would be going well. But yeah, we made it. Took way too long, but here we are. And yeah, I feel like if you take the Limusi flatbed, are good with that, maybe practice a few of the approaches a bit, you might just run it way quicker than this. Ah, dang it. I don't want to go down the regular way, it's kinda painful. Last time I hit the tree and the tree hit back. Yeah, I knew that wasn't gonna go well with the landing gear. Okay, fine. Oops. Thankfully, that's not a fragile cargo. That would have ruined it. But I'm kind of wondering if I should maybe splice in some other stuff. I've done the whole garbage collection job somewhere in between the rest of the mining stuff, but I hope this isn't going to get boring for you guys. I'm having my fun here. This is interesting, but I know that for the episodes it might be a bit sameish with all the stuff that I tried out. I mean, in the end, it's been 2 different routes, different cargos and all of that, with a lot of different vehicles. But I don't know. Hard to tell sometimes. From the driving part, it's definitely been a lot of fun for me because it's engaging. It's the kind of thing that I like, but I can also see a lot of people being like, ugh, never want to do that. But yeah. Honestly, this is still the more interesting part for me in terms of the update. There's some other things that I also still want to do, but yeah, that can take a while. So the only things that are left to do in this area now would be getting the copper ore and then later bringing it over to the refinery. I mean, first getting the copper ore from here to here, which is really not a trip, and then bringing it all the way down to the refinery down here. Thankfully, for some reason, that refinery doesn't need any fuel. I think technically it should need coal, but let's be honest, coal is already somewhat grindy with how it's being used right now. I don't wanna have to collect coal for this stuff as well. Maybe a few units, but might be better to not open the can of worms with a death. That might really go downhill in a bad way. But you know what, since we have done all the deliveries now, let's just jump in here and try getting a bit of this stuff over. Just so I can show you guys that right now, we are gonna do 1 or 2 loads, and that's gonna be it for the entire thing, and everything else will be done off screen. First up, I'll go grab a little contract over here. Half full with copper concentrate. That's a lot. But yeah, if we go with 20 copper ore, that's going to give me 27k. So yeah, that's gonna make this worthwhile. I'll just load 20 copper on here and then we should be alright. I mean, with how I've been filling up the entire thing, I could have also just disabled the Limusi dump that drives around here to keep all the stuff for myself for later, but I don't really care too much about it. It doesn't really come down to every single unit that I could be hauling here, as it's gonna have picked up like 30 units at this point, maybe far more than that. But it's not really a problem. So yeah, now what happens, since I signed a contract, I could fully load up the Terra and then bring it back down. But it's more efficient if I just load it up to 20, which is the contract size, and then go up and down the hill all the time, and that's just gonna be it. Maybe I should build a roadblock for the Limusi for the time being. Remove it before I leave again, and then just keep doing this thing. But yeah, 77 fuel, 11 wood planks. That's a lot, but not really enough. Or at least not enough for the wood planks. And yeah, that's gonna be 330 copper ore just from the planks, and I need far more of them in order to catch back up to the fuel, so that's a good problem to have. And yeah, you're gonna have the storage fully empty for the 30 copper ore to be disposed here. I get that they don't want to make this larger storage, because then you would end up with it just being getting full on its own, and when you just come up here at some point and collect all the ore. Like 30 per mine means that if you leave it running long enough, you will still end up with, what is it, 90 ore just for free basically. But yeah, that's only gonna be available every now and again. And I mean 90 ore between all the three mines here. Plus whatever the fourth one does, but we are not going to talk about the fourth one yet. I think there's still something coming, and by the time this video comes out, it may have already happened, but we'll see about it. And yeah, all I need to do now is get more contracts. For some reason, that stupid thing is stuck on my screen there. I don't like all the pop-ups in this game. It's not great. At least on controller. On keyboard and mouse you can just click them away. But for controller they are always kind of in the way. You know what I could do? It's currently empty, so I'm just going to despawn it. Because yeah, that's the thing that I'm going to do for the next bit, just hauling the ore from up here down there, getting a contract for every load, making good money here, which honestly at this point that's more like compensation for all the shit payouts that I got from supplying this stuff. Like the mines don't really pay enough, not at all. But yeah, ideally at some point we should get some reworks on the contracts. It really needs to be all based on the delivery price. Because when you already have the travel distance and everything baked in, just a flat bonus is kind of a stupid idea. I mean, not really stupid with how complicated the entire thing is. That's a bit harsh. But it just doesn't work out. It's easy to exploit. Also, I really wish they took care of trying to redo the contract amounts, because those are pretty off in some cases right now, but I don't know how to do anything about it unless somebody would be willing to go through everything one by one and look at availability of different goods, the different storage amounts available, and find something that's like a good base amount to scale onto. Shit ton of work with all the stuff that's in the game right now. But yeah, I'm gonna be sitting here waiting for more stuff and then bringing it back down again and so on and so forth, at least until I'm out of planks, and maybe I get more planks at that point, maybe not, I don't know. But yeah, this is gonna be it from me for now. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed. See you guys next time when we either do some firefighting stuff or clean out the place and bring down all the copper concentrate. Until then, as always, have a good one and bye bye.